It's a crime so gruesome that it's almost like a horror movie. Aftab and Shraddha were a young couple living together in South Delhi, but about 6 months ago they had a fight and Aftab then allegedly strangled Shraddha to death. But that is not where it ended, that's where it began. Because thereafter, he allegedly chopped her up, her body into 35 different pieces, stored it in a refrigerator, and then scattered the remains in a forest over the next 3 weeks. He used to step out at 2 a.m. every morning to dispose of one body part after another. Now, this shocking crime, it remained under wraps for the next at least 6 months till the police arrested Aftab this weekend. Now, according to the police, Aftab was inspired by the crime thriller Dexter. This is the story of Aftab and Shraddha. Listen in.
I'm currently standing at the murder scene where it is being said that the body parts, the 35 parts of the body in which it were cut, they were thrown at this location.
Murder most brutal, unimaginable and unthinkable in the national capital. The arrest of Aftab has helped the police crack a 6-month-old murder case. Bone-chilling details have emerged. Accused Aftab murdered his live-in partner Shraddha, chopped her body into 35 pieces, scattered them across Delhi to escape the law.
साउथ जिले के पीएस मेहरोली में एक मर्डर केस रजिस्टर हुआ जिसमें ये मालूम चला कि एक लड़का लड़की रिलेशनशिप में थे, उसमें लड़के ने लड़की का गला घोट के मर्डर कर दिया था मिड ऑफ मई में। ये दोनों लड़का लड़की मुंबई से आते हैं और वहाँ से आके अप्रैल लास्ट में या मई फर्स्ट वीक में दिल्ली में बस जाते हैं। हमारे यहाँ पे एरिया में किराए पे घर पे रहना स्टार्ट कर देते हैं। इनके लिव इन रिलेशनशिप में झगड़े बढ़ जाते हैं और किसी मिड ऑफ मई में इनका झगड़ा ज़्यादा बड़ा हो जाता है और लड़का लड़की गला दबाकर हत्या कर देता है। इसके बाद लड़का जो है लड़की की बॉडी डिस्पोज पार्ट्स में कट करके अलग अलग जगह पे बॉडी के पार्ट्स फेंकता है।
26-year-old Shraddha worked at a Mumbai MNC call center where she met Aftab. The two started dating and moved in together. After Shraddha's family didn't approve of their relationship, the couple eloped to Delhi and started living in a marriage from the very beginning. The couple's relation had gone bad and Aftab physically abused his daughter. He filed a missing complaint after he was unable to establish contact with her. The Delhi police arrested Aftab yesterday, who was missing for months after the murder. Aftab allegedly confessed.
Put her in a fridge and he lived and stayed and ate food in that same room. I mean, can you imagine? You've just killed your partner, you've dumped her body inside a fridge and you're living in that same room. He also apparently ordered food from food delivery apps after the gruesome murder. Mehroli, how is it that Anshul, no one in the locality, neither the neighbors nor the house owner, none of them knew about this ghastly crime or about just the nature of this man, this Aftab?
So yes, Zakka, to understand that, we have to understand the sequence of event of how they landed up in this place. Now remember, when they came to find her and they found this lock, they went to the nearest police station, and in that police station they went ahead and filed a missing complaint against for their daughter Shraddha. Now on the 16th, they shifted here on the 13th of May. On the 16th of May is the day what police sources have been telling us, that it was on the 16th of May that he strangled her to death. So many of the people, many of the neighbors who were residing in this area had no idea that a girl was also residing in this place, and that is the reason why the locals have no clue absolutely that a girl named Shraddha was actually also living in this house, because all they saw was Aftab. And how did they used to see Aftab? Because Aftab was working over here in the national capital itself, and he used to go to his office on the regular time. He used to come back, he used to order food. After he gets back from office, he used to order food, and that is all the interaction that any neighbor had with him over the past 6 months. He was not very friendly to the neighbors, but yes, the kind of image that he tried to project to the neighbors is that everything is fine and nothing untoward has happened in this entire situation, or nothing untoward has happened inside the house. Now speaking about Aftab, a lot can be said about his mentality when he was being in the same house where he killed his girlfriend, a girl who eloped from her house to live with the love of her life, and in just 1 week she is killed cut to pieces, disintegrated, and the body is disposed of in the nearby forest. So there is absolutely no idea how many body parts could be found in that forest, in what situation can that be found. And that is the biggest challenge that the Delhi police is facing right now. Because yes, to build a very airtight case, the Delhi police, the primary evidence that Delhi police requires is body parts that needs to be found, so that the DNA could be corroborated with that of Shraddha and her parents. So yes, the initial challenge in front of the Delhi police is to find the body, make sure that the DNA samples match, and build an airtight case against Aftab, in which the entire investigation that the Delhi police has done, that should be loopholes free. So this is the biggest challenge in front of the Delhi police, to make sure that Aftab goes ahead and gets the maximum punishment, because remember, this is a rarest of the rare case, and he should get the maximum punishment, is what Delhi police is also seeking right now, because they are making sure that they leave no stone unturned in making sure that
we'll leave it at that. We'll see how the story plays out. Of course, as Anshul was saying, it is absolutely essential for the Delhi police to be able to recover the body. DNA and forensic evidence needs to be collected, and corroborative evidence to show how Aftab was of a sick mind and how he did what he did, not just killing his girlfriend, but also cutting her up into 35 pieces and staying in the same room and in the same house and disposing her body parts one after another over a period of 18 days. In fact, Aftab and Shraddha actually met in Mumbai, where they were both working for a call center. Subsequently, after her family objected to their affair, they moved to Delhi. Her father raised an alarm after her disappearance, which then eventually led the police to arrest Aftab. Here's a report from their family home in Vasai in Mumbai, and that's where these two met.
मुंबई से सटे 60 किलोमीटर दूर पालघर के इसी घर में आता है, जहां पर श्रद्धा वालकर अपने पिता श्रद्धा के पिता से शिकायत करते हैं कि श्रद्धा की 2-3 महीने से कोई अता पता नहीं है। आपको बताना चाहेंगे कि शुरुआत के दिनों में श्रद्धा अपने पिता और भाई के साथ इसी फ्लैट में रहा करती थी, और उसके पिता और भाई, ये जो रिलेशनशिप था आफ्ताब के साथ, उनके साथ फेवर में नहीं थे। यही वजह है कि फैमिली के बीच मनमुटाव हुआ और श्रद्धा वालकर अपने परिवार को छोड़कर इसी इलाके के एक दूसरे अपार्टमेंट में आफ्ताब के साथ लिविंग रिलेशन में रहने लगती है। लेकिन श्रद्धा और आफ्ताब किसी को बिना बताए हुए मुंबई से दिल्ली शिफ्ट हो जाते हैं और दिल्ली के छतरपुर इलाके में एक फ्लैट में वहां रह रहे थे। लेकिन 5 महीने तक जब कोई संपर्क नहीं हुआ, तब जो लक्ष्मण नडार है, उन्होंने परिवार को बताया, और परिवार जब अपनी बेटी के हालचाल जानने के लिए गया, फोन पे बातचीत करने की कोशिश की, तो श्रद्धा का फोन नहीं लग रहा था। अंत में यहाँ के लोकल पुलिस स्टेशन, मानिकपुर पुलिस स्टेशन में मिसिंग कंप्लेंट दर्ज कराई गई।
All right, let me now open this up to our panelists here in our studio. Shashank Shekhar Jha is a lawyer with the Supreme Court. T.R. Kakkar is former commissioner of the Delhi Police. Abha Singh, advocate and activist, and Amber Zaidi, social activist, also joining us. Shashank Shekhar Jha, let me start with you first. I mean, it's absolutely befuddling how someone who is in a relationship with a young woman, whatever disagreements they may have had, actually kills her and then cuts up her body into 30-35 pieces, puts it in a refrigerator and lives in that house for the next 2 to 3 months. In fact, over 3 weeks, he then goes to the forest area to dispose one body part after another. I mean, if this is not a rarest of rare, I can't think of any other case.
Namaste. I guess this is really worrying about the fact that there are a number of couples who are currently residing in live-in relationships away from their parents, and if something like this happens, and even the parents get to know about the incident after say 3 months or say 4, I guess that is really worrisome. The more important fact in this particular case is 2. 1, who are the accomplices? 2, what are the motives? Now, I cannot believe, because I'm a law student, so for that point, I cannot believe that Aftab has done this entire murder all alone, and after that cutting body into pieces, say 35, and then disposing it off within a span of 2 weeks, like you said. So I guess that is difficult to be done by one person. And point number 2, that the motive. Right now, we know, as per his own statement, which he have also changed multiple times, the latest statement, he says that he murdered his girlfriend because of the fact that she was pressurizing him for marriage. I have a doubt, because even if someone is pressurizing you for marriage, and if you do not want to have a married life with your living partner, you can break off, you can say remove her from your house, or you can evict the house, etc., etc. But to say that you murdered her, chopped her because of this particular pressure, I have a doubt. And we need to know, the investigation agencies must get into the details as to what exactly led
Okay.
to this incident.
Let me ask T.R. Kakkar. I mean, the police's job is going to be extremely difficult. First of all, you know, this body was chopped up into different parts. It was disposed back in the month of May. It's been 6 months since. So I'd be surprised if any body part of any consequence can be retrieved and then forensic analysis done on it. Much of it would have decomposed. And secondly, all that the police have right now is this so-called confessional that this man Aftab has made before them, which is not even admissible in a court of law. Mr. Kakkar.
You see, this is one murder which will require a lot of hard work by the police, because the entire case is now based on circumstantial evidence which has to be scientifically investigated by the investigating officers. Now, what we need to do is really we have to establish that the two of them lived in that house, that the two of them, when they came from, eloped from Bombay, lived in a hotel in Paharganj, and then find traces. As per his own statement, he is alleged to have killed her in the same flat, in the same house.
Yeah.
Now, I am sure he must have tried a lot, but the blood must have flown into some crevices somewhere. Very scientific investigation will reveal traces of blood even today. Now, those traces will have to be collected, and if they are lucky to find a part of the flesh somewhere, which I doubt very much, then it is DNA profiling will be able to link the two.
No, but Mr. Kakkar, isn't it worrisome
if she
that
has any other
here is a man who has cut up his girlfriend's body and he's traveling every night at 2 a.m. across the city of Delhi to dispose the body part, and, you know, no one seems to, he never got...
He is not carrying a gunny bag. He is carrying perhaps some little piece of flesh, maybe 2 kg, maybe 3 kgs. Now, that is something
Abha
which
saying,
you can always
you know,
hide.
it's rather, what is also absolutely staggering for me is the house owner, in the house that they were staying, he didn't raise an alarm. None of the neighbors, and it's a very crowded locality. It's not like, you know, it's isolated from where people live. It's a very crowded locality. None of the neighbors heard a sound or had any suspicions. Here is a guy going out of his house at 2 a.m. every day for 3 weeks with a human body part and disposing it off, and no one raised an alarm. Abha Singh.
Absolutely, Zakka, you've raised a very relevant question that what about the Nakabandis, how he managed to sleep every day and he had a pattern how that he was disposing of one body part. And also the guidelines are very clear that whenever someone rents a house, they are supposed to inform the local police station, and the police maintains a record. So whether that was done or not, and when they had eloped from Mumbai, I think it was very important. In fact, a lot of gruesome murders are taking place like this. In fact, if you see the NCRB records of 2021, Delhi had almost 11,673 violent crimes. So we have to go to the root cause. What emboldens people like this to commit crimes? In fact, if you go to the Chawla rape case where the death penalty was converted, it was waived off, and it was equally gruesome, and the case could not face the trial properly. So here now what is important is not the mindset, but the issue is whether police has been able to recover the knife with which he cut this girl. Then also other evidences are required to make a foolproof case, because people are making a mockery of the law. Even if you're talking of death penalty, that will come at a later stage. Meanwhile, so many cases are happening. So we need to know why we are unable to prevent such crime from happening, and why 6 months it took. Only when the father came, a missing complaint was filed. What was the neighbor's duty? You're very right. What was the landlord's duty? These things need to be looked into. The public apathy is something which is very important. And the big crux is now on interfaith marriages.
These were two
like
people
if young couples
supposedly
are
in a
like
relationship,
this, do we
and,
need
and
to
of
make
course,
a register for
in
that?
any relationship, as all of us know, you are free to have differences. Sometimes those differences become so big that the relationship itself is called off. But to actually not just kill somebody you've been in a relationship with, but cut up her body, store it in a refrigerator, and then have the
For the
deviousness
Delhi
of
police
mind
to
to go out and
reconstruct the
dispose that
entire
part by
scene
part over
and
18
go
days.
in for
Surely, I mean, surely
prosecution
either Shraddha
backed
herself
by
should have known about this,
scientific evidence.
or her family
Now
members
to
should
say
have known
that
about this. I mean,
Nakabandis were
how
not
can
Absolutely,
such a sick
Zakka.
mind not be
I have
identified?
never
that you can have.
Amber Zaidi.
I have never come across any horrific case in my life more than more horrifying than this. This happened 6 months ago, and there was not even a whisper of it. This is more heart-wrenching. This heart-wrenching incident happened in Delhi, where a woman was killed by her boyfriend or a live-in partner who cut her body into 35 pieces, and he was dumping his pieces on the same pattern every day at 2 a.m. at night, and nobody noticed. Nobody took alarm on even the neighbors, the family, the friends. What took so long for family to take initiative about the girl? Nobody was concerned about the safety and security of the girl. I understand that she flew away from the family, and nobody was agreeing their relationship. They were not allowing her to get in relationship with this boy. But at least they should have been more, concerned about her security. She was not active on social media, and she was nowhere to be seen, and nobody took concern about her. Nobody noticed that she is alive or not. We, every time when something like this happened, we show our concern. We light up the, candles. We do candle march and placards and everything. But we never, as responsible society, are we really concerned about the girls around us? Are we really paying attention that how are girls around us being treated, about this security and safety? We as whole society and police, we all are, responsible for this. We are failing our girls every day.
No, so I want to ask Shashank Shekhar Jha. I mean, he goes out and buys this refrigerator. He buys a chainsaw, which he uses to cut up the body. He goes to work every day after this.
Exactly.
What sort of people are there as his colleagues and people at his workplace that they don't see any suspicion? They don't raise any suspicion,
Exactly.
or is he
what my
so
question is,
immune
that
to human
how nobody
emotion
was concerned.
that he's able to
The same man,
fool all of
he
them?
was
No,
dumping
definitely.
his
Shashank
body-
Shekhar,
her
Yeah, I guess
body
Amber,
Amber, give me a
every
moment,
day,
please.
every
Yeah,
day.
Shashank Shekhar, please.
Yeah, I guess there are 2 points here. One, I completely stand with you when I say this with great responsibility that this cannot be done by one person. There must be accomplice in all 3 acts. 1, murdering the person. 2, disposing of the body. And 3, to keeping the evidences or the incidents hidden by the public. And point number 2, we need to understand that circumstantial evidence are very weak. So this case must be strict. And go by the fact, and more evidences should be collected in order to bring this matter to the disclosure. We need to understand that Supreme Court recently acquitted all the accused or the convicts of Chawla rape case. That also happened in Delhi because of the fact that there were only circumstantial evidences, but could not get supported by the facts. So in this case also we need to not repeat those mistakes, and everything should be watertight, because all those statements made by Aftab before the police are not admissible. All those circumstances could not lead him to conviction. So
Kakkar Sahab, I think you should, in light of what happened in the Chawla rape case, I think it does raise serious questions about whether the police will be able to prove in a court of law the ghastliness and the grisliness of what Aftab did.
The Chawla rape case, just because you mentioned, the trial court, the High Court upholds the trial court awards, the High Court upholds the conviction. Now there is the Supreme Court obviously lets off the accused persons. Now I think the least I can say is perhaps the courts do not have faith in each other's ability. That's all that I can say. Now in this particular case, I agree with Mr. Jha that circumstantial evidence alone in this is going to prove or disprove. He is now in police custody, and let us be very, very clear about it. The reporters, everybody else, the statements being made by somebody in the police, not everything is being revealed to you, and they don't have to reveal. If I was there, I would probably generally satisfy people that this is being done. The police definitely are in Delhi police particularly are very capable of finding out what exactly happened, how they are going to connect the movement right from Bombay to this place. And Amber, as Zadi, as she says, now the responsibility of the family also should be, but as a police officer, I don't want to discuss that. For me, the crime has taken place in Delhi.
I beg to differ.
The crime has taken place.
It's in the same Delhi that we saw the Nirbhaya case also. The Chawla case that we all referred to, also the origins were from Delhi.
Perfectly all right.
Look,
Perfectly
I have nothing against the Delhi police, but
case was worked out.
Fact is that even in this case, it came to light only 6 months later. This crime happened in May. Today we are in the middle of November.
Nirbhaya case was worked out, and conviction was, the accused were convicted.
Of course, that was after huge nationwide outrage, media pressure from civil society. I don't want to get into all of that. Why should it be that only when the media takes up a case, only when it comes into the public domain, and there is so much outrage, that the police also sort of stir themselves into action? That needs to be asked. That question needs to be asked.
Let me assure you that the Delhi police particularly are quite capable of connecting the entire dots and finding out exactly what exactly happened, and I'm sure they will be able to charge sheet this case.
Okay,
because
give me a moment because I'm getting more details on this story. Now the National Commission for Women. Now the National Commission for Women has also stepped in. They have sought a detailed report from the Delhi police over this murder. The NCW chief Rekha Sharma has told CNN News 18, and I quote, that since the accused is already arrested, we have sought a detailed report from the Delhi police and all relevant and supporting documents. We'll review the report and decide further course of action. Abha Singh, what can the NCW do? I mean, like I said, the police itself sort of stumbled upon this case 6 months later, and even now they only have this so-called confessional that Aftab has made to them, which, like I've been saying, is not admissible in a court of law. They have to find the body parts. They have to be able to recover forensic evidence from there. That forensic evidence needs to stand at the test of evidence in a court of law. This is easier said than done to be able to prove this.
Absolutely, Zakka. You're very right. It's very easier said than done. In fact, NCW is a toothless body. If it had been active, they should have been the ones to have gone to the police and said there is a young girl who's missing, and you look into it. Now coming at this stage and just coming and giving a statement for no purpose, we know the DCWs and the NCW is all toothless, and their stating also has no worth. But now coming here in this case, at least one thing I would like to convey through your channel today, Zakka, that parents of the girl also have a responsibility. Do not just shoo your children away because they have fallen in love, because at such cases children become very vulnerable, particularly girls. Such heinous offences are happening against girls, so it is better be in touch with your children and make sure that they are safe. Now coming to the legal part of this, yes, the statement, the accused will turn hostile, will say I have given the statement under duress from the police, and as it is, we know the statement given to the police is not there in the court of trial. It will not stand. So I think relevant forensics are required. The knife is needed to be recovered. The body parts and the DNA needs to be done, and it should be done in a fast track court. But coming through the basics, even if it's a death penalty and it is overturned later, so I think all these things, these loopholes need to be plugged, because I can all see from this gory murder that criminals are emboldened and they are ready to do anything.
No, so Amber Zaidi, the parents of Shraddha, why they took such a long time to report that she had gone missing. Apparently, they decided to, file a missing persons complaint only after her updates on Facebook stopped. Now, it could very well be that Aftab, if he had access to her devices, he could have been posting on her behalf. It's only after the updates on Facebook stopped that they decided to file a missing persons complaint. So surely questions are being raised as to why and how the parents of a child can, just let her go just because they have a difference of opinion on who she should be in a relationship with. Secondly, and like I said, here is a man of deviant mind killing his girlfriend, chopping up her body into 35 pieces. Every night at 2 a.m. he steps out from his house, goes 3-4 kilometers away to this forest area, dumps a body part, comes back. He does this for a good 3 weeks straight, and nobody knows. Nobody in the neighborhood knows. None of the police patrols know. Beat constables know. Nakabandis, he never gets stopped. I mean, how is it possible?
Exactly. That is what more alarming, that nobody took notice that on the same pattern repeatedly every day, he is dumping or littering her body parts every day in the forest area. Neither the neighbors, the guards, and the Nakabandi police, nobody took notice. This is what surprises me the more. Every day, so many incidents are happening with girls, be it rape incidents or murder or something like that. But what never changes is that these crimes are increasing every day. We have enough laws and everything in our country. Even the law, the fast track courts are there and being formed in some cases. But what are we getting? The implementation of laws are not stringent. We have to make sure that the culprits are being, served. They should get punished on time and as fast as possible. So that at least
Shashank, is it a question of investigative ability to prove cases in a court of law? Because the laws are there. After Nirbhaya, laws have been strengthened. And I don't want to get into the details of how it's been strengthened, but I don't think the issue is a lack of the law. The law is certainly there.
I guess we are currently high on our emotions, but then the law or for that point procedures run through strict codes,
Scrutiny.
which is for that point CRPC as of now, and the Evidence Act. Now it clearly says, and like someone else was saying, that only circumstantial evidences or say for that point statement before police under 161 CRPC cannot hold someone a convict before the court, and these things takes time. So I guess the best part which Delhi police can do right now is they have this forensic department. Home Ministry of India has currently approved Delhi police to have forensic departments in every police station. So they must put all their strength in proving this case right before the court, and they must look into two aspects, which I am trying to say again and again, because criminal jurisprudence works on those. One, that the people who are supporting this case, all those who are involved in this case directly or indirectly, and point number two, the motive, because unless you prove a motive, you cannot convict a person for a
and the most important thing, of course, even if they are able to recover these body parts, we don't know in what state or what condition it is going to be now, because remember, this murder happened in May. Today we are in November. Much of this would have decomposed, much of it being thrown into the open forest. There apparently is a lake in that forest area where a large number of these body parts were disposed of. We'll leave it at that, but like I said, this is a shocking case, and as you go to bed tonight, just think of your children. Don't just leave them away just because they got into a relationship that you don't agree with. They are your responsibility throughout. That's a wrap. Thanks very much for tuning in.